taking time. All right. So now this is a projectile motion. Do you have any confusion about that? So definitely it's a, instead of saying the projectile motion, I should say this is actually that two-dimensional motion under the influence of the basically the gravity. So because once you say when the one player kick off a ball, say from the ground, then that trajectory of the ball will be like that, right? This is the kick of the ball. So this is the ball. When it's kicked, definitely trajectory would be like that. So this is one player kick the ball. Say another player over here receive that ball. And definitely it should be the projectile motion. If we neglect that air resistance, we'll do that for the. So then first question asks, how long does the ball take to reach its maximum height? Also calculate this height. So I know there is an equation that you can find out directly. Once you kick the ball, I can split that vector, right? So I'll take that because they give me that this is my, say that v naught x. This is to be my v naught y. So if it's kick with the initial velocity v naught, making an angle that theta. Excuse me. So then we can find out that v naught x and the v naught y, right? Because that's basically the component of that vector v naught. And once kick, I know that this v naught x will be remain same because that the force on that ball will be acting only towards the vertically downward direction because acceleration is the downward. There will be no acceleration along to the horizontal direction. Along to the horizontal direction, it will move at a constant velocity. So that's why that v naught x is not going to change. It will be remain same. That's why I'm saying that since there are no acceleration, there will be no force. The force will be only towards the vertical direction because acceleration would be downward, which is gravitational acceleration is g. Fine. Once it reaches at the top, must be equal to the 0, right? Vertical component, but the horizontal component will remain same. If I draw so that diagram, see if you think about this is your v naught x, this is v naught x, this is v naught x. Even though over here it will be also the remain same v naught x, but the vertical component will be changed. It will sorry, gradually it will be reduced after crossing that maximum height. It will move to the downward direction. So then I can use my formula, that one, say Vy would be V naught y minus gt. I use that formula, V equal to U plus AT, but in a different form actually. We have to use that one. Right. So now this Vy, I can write one more line. This V naught x and V naught x would be V naught cos theta and V naught y would be V naught sin theta. Right. Then this V naught y I'll replace by that V naught cos theta minus gt. But this V naught y is going to be 0 when it's reach at the maximum point over there. Sorry, over there. Then I should write this 0 would be V naught sine theta minus GT. And why is that minus sign? Basically, I choose this upward direction is the positive, then the downward direction will be the negative. So since G is downward, so that's why I write down this will be the minus sign. Always, if you
Sir, why
use
did you take
that one,
sign?
sorry,
Sir, why did you take sign in the next line? V not sign theta.
sine. Oh, sorry,
Yes.
sorry, sorry, sorry. It should be cosine theta. I'm sorry. This is would be sine theta. I make mistake over there. Because V naught Y I'm writing over here, right? It's with that V naught sine theta. Right? Because I'm taking the vertical component. So definitely it's going to be that V naught sine theta, not the cos theta. I'm dealing with that vertical component right now, not the horizontal component. Horizontal component remains same. Then I can write, so this T to time to reach at the maximum height, it's a V naught sine theta divided by G, right? You memorize this formula probably. So time to take to maximum height for a projectile motion actually, T equal to V naught sine theta divided by G. So we don't have to memorize that one. We can find out only from this equation. So fine. Then if we put, without writing, just put into that value over here, you can find out the T. So then T would be, if you put that value, T you will find out it should be 1.27 seconds. So this is the answer of that A. How much time it will take to reach that maximum height. And there is a tag question. Also calculate this height. What would be that height? I have to find out that height also. This height. Okay, fine. To find out that height, we can use the two ways. One, first I can write, say this y equal to y naught plus v naught y t plus half of a yt square, right? This is one equation because I know that time, how much time it will take to reach that maximum height. So in that case, this y naught would be 0. If I choose, that is my origin. I choose this is my origin. In that case, that I can say also this is would be y would be 0 over here, right? You will find out some x distance, but the y would be 0 over there. So that's why I write down the y not equal to 0. Then I can modify this equation one more way. Y would be 0 plus v naught y is basically v naught sine theta into t. That t I find out to reach that maximum height. And ay is basically g, right? So I'll write down that thing would be half of g t square. I use the minus sign, then you can put that value. If you put, you will find out this v naught actually how much. V naught actually that 25 sine 30 degree. That's 30 degree. Yeah, the angle is 30 degree. That given. T is I find out 1.27 second minus 4.9 because G is 9.8 divided by 2, 4.9 into 1.27 square. Then you can find out this y would be basically 7.99 meter. This is one way you can do that. Another way, this say I can use another equation to find out that one. I can write, say, Vy square would be V naught y square plus 2ay into y. I use that equation basically. V square equal to u square plus 2ax. A is the acceleration and x is the distance. Since I'm using the vertical direction, so that's why I write down v naught vy square, which is the final velocity along the vertical direction, v naught y, which is the initial velocity along the vertical direction, plus ay is the acceleration along to the vertical direction, and y is the vertical displacement. Now I can modify this one. So I will write this Vy. V naught y actually V naught sine theta whole square divided minus 2 ay is basically I use the minus sign g y. Ay will be the minus g, right? Now this Vy, if it is the maximum height, that's going to be also the 0, right? I talk about the vertical component at the maximum height would be 0, but there will be some horizontal component. Then I can write it should be V naught square sine square theta minus 2g y, and you can find out that y from there. So V naught square sine square theta divided by twice g. So this is actually the maximum height formula you guys memorize. So, but writing from your sometime you make a mistake. You didn't keep that v square, or you didn't keep this. You didn't use the square in term of sine, or sometimes you divided by only g instead of 2g. So that could be happen actually. So that's why my prescription is not to memorize this equation. You don't have to basically. We can use only this equation. This is a very useful equation. Using that formula, we can solve any type of 1D, 2D motion using that one formula only. So you'll find out the same value. If you put that thing over there, you can check that. Should be 25 sine 30 whole square divided by, divided by your 2 into 9.8, and you'll find out y will be also 7.99 meter. Fine. So this is the answer number A. Now this actually find the velocity of the ball at t equal to 1.5 second after the kickoff. Now look at this. They say we find out that velocity at t equal to 1.5 second. So at t equal to 1.2 second, it will be at its maximum height. That's mean at the middle point of its trajectory. Am I right? Because if I draw, say this is my trajectory of that ball. This is the maximum height, and this maximum height is going to be at t equal to 1.27 second, right? I find out that time. Now that's me to find out that velocity at t equal 1.5 second later. So definitely in that time is going to be the cross that maximum height. That's mean I can draw that your velocity x component would be that direction. So this is your vx, and y component would be downward direction. Say I'm assuming that the ball would be over here. It will be more than that because it's close to the over here, because it would be 1.54 second would be basically is total time of flight. So I have to find out 1.5 second. So it should be closely to that ground. But my point is, I can find out that the velocity component of this ball at t equal to 1.5 second later, your x component would be positive, because if I choose, so this is my x direction, positive x direction, and this is my positive y direction. Then your x component will be positive, but the y component will be negative. Right? I can find out that one mathematically. Look at this. So, so I can find out that velocity. So since it's a two-dimensional velocity, I will express velocity is a vx I hat plus vy z hat. Right? I can express that velocity in that form. Since it's a two-dimensional, I'll find out the two component. Fine. If I could find out in that form, then I will be also able to find out the magnitude and the direction of this vector. I know how to find out the magnitude and the direction of a vector, right? From that idea of the vector. Now, what is Vx? So Vx will be V naught x, right? Why? Because along to the horizontal direction, it has no acceleration. So that's why whatever the velocity it was at the initial, it will be exactly same throughout its journey, because along to the horizontal direction it's moving at a constant velocity. So that's why the velocity is not going to change. Velocity will be remain same. Then I can write down, so it should be v naught cos theta, and my this v naught actually 25 and theta is 30. So cos 30, if you do that, then you will find out v naught x would be 21.65 meter per second. Right? Now, what about Vy? So Vy, I will use V naught y minus, sorry, I use that, plus Ayt, V equal to U plus At formula I'm using over here. Then I can find this Vy would be V naught y actually V naught sine theta minus gt, right? So I'm going to find out that velocity. So what I'll find, so this Vy would be V naught 25 sine theta is 30 degree minus 9.8 into 1.5. I'm going to find out that velocity, because that x component is basically that is constant. It is independent of the time. It's not changing with respect to the time. So that's why it will be the remain same. That's meaning of the constant. But the y component is dependent on the time. It's not moving at a constant velocity. It's moving at a constant acceleration. So that's why it's a function of t basically over here. So then if you solve this one, you will find out that vertical component, it should be minus 2.2 meter per second. You can check that one, because this is going to be basically the 12.5, because sine 30 is basically a half. So 25 divided by 2 is going to be 12.5 and minus 9.8 into 1.5. So this would be 9.5, 9.8 plus 4.9, which should be more than actually 12.5. So that's why your y component is negative. I'm sorry, my physical condition is not too good, guys. I have a serious cold today. Yesterday, my condition, I was not actually that in a situation to take the class in the last night. Fine. So then I can find out my velocity, right? So that v would be vx I hat plus vy j hat. I find out that value. So vx actually the 21.65 I hat minus vy actually the 2.2 z hat. So that's will be that velocity. This is the answer of that question number 2. Now you will be able to find out that magnitude and the direction. So magnitude of this vector would be, I know, to find out that one, it's a 21.65 0.76 meter per second, and the theta would be minus 5.8 degree. This is again the answer of, and this is minus. Basically, look at this. If you take that component, then you will find out this is your x component, this is actually your y component, then the resultant would be towards that direction, right? So this is actually the resultant velocity v. And if you take theta equal to tan inverse y by, so that's mean vy by vx, it will move to nearest x to y direction, so toward that direction, and it is moving to the clockwise direction, so that's why this is a negative over there. The angle is negative. Fine, so this is the answer number, question number B. Now the question number C, how far was Neymar from Messi? Because the ball was kicked by that Messi towards that Neymar, there are a certain distance, then they are asked to find out the distance between these two players. And that could be find out. So this is basically, if they use in the same height, so this problem will say that the ball is kicked from that ground and it was received by that second player at the ground level. Sometimes it could be say it's a different height, right? In the game, actually, sometimes it's happened. The player can be receive the ball from the certain height from the height from the ground. So that's why it is not a good idea to use that range formula over here. It should be sometime. So that's why I'm not going to use that range equation. I would say basically it should be that horizontal distance. That would be that general process. So I can write, say, say this is that distance and is going to be in that form. So I'm going to find out that distance between the two players. So that distance, say that x, horizontal distance. I know the ball take time 1.27 seconds to reach that maximum height. Then it will also take to the time to reach from maximum height to the ground, right? That's mean your time of flight, say that t, or any symbol you can use. So that t prime is with the 2 into t. I find out that t, time to take to as the maximum height, right, which is actually 1.27 seconds. So that's why I use the t prime over there. Then 2 into 1.27 is going to be the 2.54 second. Right? So this is be actually total flight of time. Then I can find out that distance along to the horizontal direction. I will use, look at this, x naught plus v naught xt sorry, plus half of ax t square. I'm writing general equation. Since along to the horizontal direction it has no acceleration, I can say this would be the 0. If I choose this is my origin, then the x naught is also going to be the 0. Then I can say that x would be v naught x into t, which actually the s equal to vt formula, right? So this t actually that time of flight right now, I should use the t prime, right? So I'm sorry, it should be used the t prime. This is be also the t prime because I'm dealing with the total flight of time. So then I know that this v naught x actually v naught cos theta into t prime. Then x would be v naught actually 25 into cos 30. The t prime actually 2.54. Then x would be closely to the 55 meter. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry for interruption, guys. So this is would be the distance between that two player. Fine. So this is the answer of the question number C. Now the D. Draw the displacement versus diagram for the motion of the ball. That could be basically that parabolic motion. So this would be that one, motion of that ball, right? So this would be that curve. If we say this is your x-axis and this is actually your y-axis, then this is the answer of the question number D. All right, guys. Do you have any more question? I'm not going to take the class more than these two because my condition is not too good. I'm sorry.
Okay, sir. No problem. There's no problem.
You should take rest.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Please go through this material. If you have any question, you can ask me in the next class. Hopefully, I can take the next class.
Okay.
If I feel
Okay,
well.
sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah,
Take care of yourself.
yeah, guys. Thank you very much. You should also take care of yourself.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.